Disclaimer. Before I begin the video, I just want to let you know that although you may have seen some parodies of the anime top 10 countdown genre, this video is 100% serious. Also, before I begin, spoiler warning. This list is based on the anime I've seen, so there might be a show or two on this list that you haven't seen yet, so beware of spoilers. Also, since I haven't seen every anime, I might not include your favorite death on the list. So, without further ado, the top 10 saddest anime deaths. Number 10. The Spy Team, Spy School. A triple whammy right off the bat. The first time I saw this one, I was shocked. They spent the entire series up to this point building up these three characters. They started out so incompetent and naive that you couldn't help but appreciate their sheer innocence. But then we saw them train and slowly turn into these badass spies who could handle anything. The entire plot was building them to re-encountering the first gang they ever tried to dismantle. They engage the gang and all of them are killed instantly. This was soul-crushing to watch. The only reason it isn't higher up on the list is there was so much backlash from the community, the writers actually incorporated a time travel subplot which allowed them a second chance at the fight, giving us the satisfying ending we all wanted. Number 9. Cody, or OSX Lion Master, Sword Fight. Sword Fight is an interesting anime. Fight scenes took up most of the runtime of the show. Half of each episode was dedicated to each of the two main protagonists, Cody and OSX Lion Master. At the end of Season 2, the series splits into two, and depending on which series you follow, one of the protagonists brutally kills the other. No matter what choice you make, it's heart-wrenching watching such a likable character die. And the show very subtly tells you that their death was your fault, because you chose to watch that branch. Definitely worth a spot on this list. Number 8. Luke number 2, Cold Weather. Cold Weather is a very short anime. It features two characters who are like two sides of one mind. The death of the second Luke isn't sad so much as it is brutal. He decides to go outside in -40-degree weather with only a sweater. Luke 1 tries to warn him, but he brushed off the warning. The next thing we know, Luke 2 is frozen solid. Now his death isn't explicit, we never see a funeral, so it's possible he survived the expedition, but until Season 2, we're left to assume that Luke 2 met a cold fate. Number 7. Sam, the Hat Guy. The Hat Guy is a mysterious anime full of emotional moments. The most tragic moment, however, is the death of Sam. For the first half of the series, Sam's character is the embodiment of innocence. He provided much of the comic relief whenever he was on screen. But when he's kidnapped by the Hat Guy and brainwashed, this is the last we see of his innocent character. Although he is technically alive, Sam is never the boy he was at the start, as the brainwashing proves to be permanent. And he's forced to live the rest of his days as a confined criminal, effectively killing the Sam we knew and loved. Number 6. Wesley, Horsemen. The anime Horsemen can be summed up in one word: bizarre. It was hard to tell when the anime was trying to be serious and when it was just being plain weird. Sometimes characters would appear, never to be seen again. The most memorable of these events was with Wesley. Despite the fact that he had little bearing on the plot, Wesley was without a doubt the best comic relief character of the series. Every time he showed up, you knew you were in for a laugh, so when they killed him off in the finale, it was quite the shock. After the biggest twist of the series, Wesley is gunned down by one of the protagonists. This is played off as a joke, so even though it feels a little out of place to kill off a comic relief character, I'm glad this character died as he lived, as the funniest joke of the series. Number 5. Macbeth. Macbeth. Most people are familiar with this anime, whether they've watched it or read the manga. If you have, you know it's referred to as a tragedy for a reason. #Macbeth did nothing wrong. He was just your everyday war hero when all of a sudden some witches say he's gonna be king. He tells his wife, and what does she do? Tells him that if he doesn't kill the king, he's not a real man. Next thing he knows, he's king and the witches tell him he's invincible. But turns out that was a trick too. My question is, what did Macbeth do to deserve this? It's not his fault every woman in his life was egging him on to kill people until he got killed himself. A timeless story, and a death definitely worth the number 5 spot. Number 4. Lorne, Escape the School. Escape the School is a very weird structure as far as anime goes. It deals with parallel universes in much the same way Swordfight did, only this time with much more choices. No matter what path the protagonist takes, they encounter Lorne. Lorne is a sadly underdeveloped character. We never learn his motivations or anything about him other than the fact that he is hostile towards the protagonist. The show reduces him to nothing but a roadblock, but the few bits of screen time he gets, we really get to see how cool of a character he can be. We even see him celebrate with the protagonist in one of the endings. Sadly, no matter the path, Lorne has to die. Whether it be by particle gun, grenade, falcon punched, or trapped in a Pokeball, this lovable hurdle must be surpassed. His tragic role gets him the number 4 spot on this list. Number 3. Colin, the Relic. The Relic has a very unique structure. Rather than focus on a single protagonist, it has multiple protagonists. None of them are really good guys either, until they find a common evil to fight. The villain sends his henchmen to retrieve the relic. Not only does he manage to find the relic faster than any of the 3 protagonists, he manages to come out on top of the all-out battle royale for the relic that ensues. At this point, he decides to betray his evil master. Considering he knows his master's power, he likely wanted to defeat his master himself, so was Colin a hero the whole time? Perhaps he knew that the relic's power was the only way to defeat his master? These questions are left unanswered, as the entire mission was just a test of Colin's loyalty. After failing the test, he is shadow punched into a wall and never seen for the rest of the series. Some theorize he survived the attack, but I'm counting it as a death considering that this is unconfirmed. Number 2. Kate, Null. Null is about as short as an anime can get, but the show tries to pack as much story into as short a time frame as possible. The protagonist of this anime is his own antagonist. He has the power to manipulate time, but he uses it so much he becomes bored with everything. When he witnesses Kate being shot, he intervenes, disarming the man with the gun. But we soon see that justice was not his intention. As the protagonist kills the man in cold blood, Kate tries to flee, but the protagonist kills her too for no apparent reason. Kate stands as the first innocent victim of a man gone mad with power and pushing the boundaries of a world without consequences. Now, before we get into number 1, I'd like to take this time to remind you to comment what anime death you think I should have included on this list. There are only 10 slots, so I'm bound to have missed one of your favorites. Also, subscribe for more Minecraft high school roleplay videos and weekly anime top 10s. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the saddest death in all of anime. Number 1. The 3 Assassins, The Mission. This list started with a triple death, and we're ending with one too. The Mission is an anime that has it all. Action, comedy, mystery, and a plot twist worthy of the number 1 spot on another list. From the start, we know that all 3 of the assassins are hired to kill each other, but what they don't know is that each of their targets is just as skilled as them, and are just as motivated to kill them right back. Each of them have their own style of assassination. One uses Assassin's Creed style knives for silent dispatch, another uses a sniper and handguns for a quick end. The last uses gadgets and explosives for a dramatic job well done. They can all be described with one word: badass. In the final battle, the knife-wielding assassin comes out on top, as he deflects a gadget and stabs one of the other assassins, only to disarm and kill the other. Unfortunately for him, the gadget assassin stuck him with a grenade. Knowing he would likely die from a stab wound, the gadget assassin activates his grenade and blows them both up. This tragic end sets up the twist, as we see that the assassin's boss is on the phone with an unknown entity. The solution to this mystery is never solved. Well, I hope you enjoyed the list. Be sure to subscribe for more daily Undertale theories. Okay, bye!